think today is January 28th. The deer I'm after, called Pops, showed up this morning. He's been gone for like 8 days and I thought he had been killed.
God, man, I want to puke. There, dude, just like exactly what Drew said. Boom, boom, big time.
Oh Lord, please don't let him be in the freaking river. Oh Lord.
Dude, Jay, he's in the river.
Oh thank God. Scare me, dude.
He's underwater.
Oh, he is.
All right, guys, it has been a minute since we've been into this room. Per you guys' request, you all been asking for a trophy room update. I think it's been like a couple years ago since we've been in this room and showed you guys around. There's been a few updates, so we're gonna show you guys around, and then we're gonna jump into a vintage throwback story from 3-4 seasons ago, 2019, with a deer that's probably the oldest deer that we've ever hunted at Sequin. I think that Pops was like 10 years old, so we're gonna jump into his story in a minute, but giving you all a quick update. I had my velvet buck from, I don't know, several years back here. I took him down and put him in the corner. I've really enjoyed doing European mounts. It's just frees up a lot of space to me, and it's still pretty cool that you can, like, I can take these down and just like still handle them, you know, pass them around to buddies and stuff. And like the mounts do look great, but when they're up there, and you don't really get to, you know, touch them anymore. So I like European mounts. I also like the process of doing them. This is the Kentucky buck from last year, the big 10-pointer. He's like 170. This is the Kansas buck, and this deer's mass is nuts. I mean, he's got Coke cans for bases. And the deer above him is the Tennessee buck with the drop tine. Shifting over to, oh yeah, I guess I can show you all these hats. Y'all have gone freaking crazy for these hats, and I've literally spent countless hours sitting at this desk with a Sharpie marker drawing these for you guys. We took them to that show in Nashville and sold out like almost immediately with them. So I'm probably gonna have to sit down for several more hours and pull out my inner Picasso for you guys again. This is probably one of my favorite items in here. So I don't know if you guys saw where we hunted with the Duck Dynasty guys last season. We hunted with our buddy Martin and Uncle Si. Uncle Si shot this duck, this decoy, thinking it was a duck.
Oh, right there.
I was so confused. I saw a splash go boom by decoy. I was like, the head's going that way.
I tried to shoot the deputy when I shot the sheriff.
Did hit it in the head, and it's now become a little bit of a maraca. It's got some pellets in there. So I saved it, made him sign it for me. Pretty cool little memento there. This one is, believe it or not, I found this shed at Lee and Tiffany's farm in Iowa. And so I came home with it. That's a sentimental one there too. I also still have the shed here that I did a prank with me with. I for real didn't think that he was gonna fall for that. That was like, everyone that was involved behind the scenes was like, there's no way that he's gonna fall for it, but he did, and it ended up being funny on the aftermath, but during the time I was kind of in a full-fledged panic. No idea what deer that is.
And like I said, in the past, I've had some that maybe could have done that, but they haven't been here for a couple of years.
1, 2, 3, 4.
That's like a 300-inch deer.
7,
Yeah.
8, 9.
Look at you, just crushed his dream.
I know.
It was like, we got like a 400 to hunt next year.
I've freed up some wall space here. I've got 3 more bucks at the taxidermist now. I've got the upside down buck from Ohio last year. I've got a Georgia buck and another Ohio buck from a couple seasons ago. Probably gonna put the upside down buck in this corner here. We'll still hang some bows on the wall. I've got a bunch of European mounts on the ground here. That is the Pennsylvania buck from last year, hunting with our buddy Bo Martonic up there. That's the late season buck from Georgia last year. This one was the velvet buck from North Dakota last year. My buddy Jason and his friend, I guess, did their best on trying to, well, I don't know what they were trying to do, but we're gonna have to get that guy fixed up. But I do appreciate the effort. This is pretty much all the same. Moved this velvet buck from that wall to here. This is the Tennessee buck from last year, the 190-inch deer from the velvet season. I think this deer was not here in the last video. That's Big Earl, Georgia deer, 177. That's kind of the update for the trophy room, but what we are here to do today is tell you guys this vintage story of Pops, the oldest deer that we have ever hunted in the history of Sequel. I think he was 10 and a half years old, all the way going back to the 2019 season. And I've had trail cam pictures of this deer since I believe 2014 when I was in college. So without further ado, we're gonna jump into the story of Pops. I thought for sure he was gonna duck. Oh, I hope I did not blow that. We're gonna have to take this thing all the way back to 2014. I was a senior in college, and I got pictures of a buck that I think at the time was probably 5.5 years old. Pretty good deer, like a 140-inch deer, but you know, I guess at the time we're looking for other things. And I ended up having that deer on camera 2014, 2015, 2016. Fast forward to 2019 and kind of starting this story with Pops. So to understand that season, I've got to take it back to the summer. I'm running all my spots. I'm getting as many places as I can. I'm trying to find that particular deer to dedicate my season to. And at the time, I was getting pictures of a deer that I call Browser. And Browser is this buck right here. I named him Browser because of his super unique and tall brow tines. And at the time, you know, July, August, this was the biggest buck that I had on camera. So my season was going to be dedicated to this deer. Fast forward a few weeks and we get into August, my whole season changes because I get pictures of Thor for the first time, and this ends up being the highest scoring deer of my life. So the second I got pictures of Thor, everything changed and I was fully focused on Thor. Jump into September, opening weekend, I actually was able to take Thor. He was 208 inches, 24 points, and just started that season off on the highest of highs.
Oh my God, he's a giant, dude! Oh my God, he's a freaking giant! Oh my God!
Oh my gosh, man. This is so special.
Smoke City.
So freaking special, man. Taking it off from there, I'm immediately thinking, okay, the next story, the next story, the next deer. When I'm not pursuing a certain deer, it almost feels like I just have a hole in my life, like just something is missing. I'm missing that drive. It's like a huge part of me is missing when I don't have a story to tell, a story to unfold, a story to chase, a deer to pursue. And I immediately shift gears back to Browser. I'm trying to get pictures of Browser. I had him in his summer area. He actually leaves his summer area like a lot of these deer do. And I can't find him. I'm getting spots, and I can't find him. Well, fast forward into October. Browser is running across, I guess, you know, getting towards the rut, running across a main road and actually totaled a woman's brand new Mercedes-Benz she had bought the day before. Broke Browser's neck. I was actually able to recover the deer, was able to do a European mount, so I'll have him forever. But again, lost that deer, so I'm like, all right, next deer. So I'm constantly getting new spots. I'm constantly trying to find that next deer. And I find this deer that I nicknamed Mr. Krabs. He was a mainframe 10-pointer and probably 160, 170-inch deer. So I start pursuing that deer and he gets taken by another hunter. So after Mr. Krabs got killed, I guess it's probably about mid-November, and I get the first picture of Pops at a place that I had never seen him before. And deer just shows up. I had no idea what deer he was, but I knew he was a Big 10. Definitely a deer that I wanted to hunt. And to this point, I haven't sat one sit in a tree. I have been trying to get spots and get the right places to set up on some of these deer I've been chasing the whole season. So since that first week in September, I haven't even hunted. So I get these pictures of Pops, at this one spot, and he's super sporadic. I'm maybe getting him once every couple weeks, and not in daylight. So I kind of realized, like, I just know I'm not in this deer's core area. I had basically quit getting him on the trail camera that I was getting him at the spot that I was hopefully going to hunt him at. And he was gone for weeks, and my brother, driving down a road, actually saw Pops chasing some does in a privet bottom along the river. And so he took a video clip, and it's a super blurry clip, but I could tell that it was him, and it sort of gave me a sense of direction of where this deer went. And I sort of feel like a light bulb went off in my head. I'm like, that is the deer that I'd had pictures of back in 2014, 2015, 2016. Fast forward to the end of 2019, December, now we're into January 2020. And I've realized that it's the same deer. Dude, I cannot tell you how much of a relief it is to finally relocate this deer. Dude, he's like, I have not had my own trail cam pictures of this deer in over 2 weeks. The only kind of clue I've had in the last week and a half is the video that my brother took. And I kind of had like narrowed him down. He filmed him like in this like thick privet patch.
Yeah, I remember.
And so I'd kind of like in my mind, I'm like, I know these deer funnel into privet, and like this is the totally textbook perfect place for a big buck like that to hide. And I was like, he's got to be living in there. So where I was getting him in his summer areas earlier in the year, in those 2014, 15, 16 seasons, I realized that that's probably where Pops went. It's about a mile away as the crow flies and across the river. Put a camera out, and a week goes by, no pictures of Pops. And it's coming down to the wire. It's the last couple weeks of the season. And then I pull up to this place, and I'm just sitting in this driveway, and I'm just feeling just super low, just like the wind is out of my sails. I'm demoralized. I can't find this deer. The season's running out. And I was just like, something in me was like, you know what, I'm just gonna leave that camera there for another few days. I leave the driveway. That night, Pop shows up on my camera for the first time in weeks. So at that point, it's game on. So I'm, again, getting more spots. I get a couple more places. I get him to show up once, just not sporadic, and I'm not in his core area. Comes down to the last 3 days of the season, and I get a picture of Pops in the morning. Usually that time of year, if you can get a picture of a mature buck later in the morning, they're gonna go bed up and potentially come back in the evening and feed, and hopefully in daylight. And it seems like that's a pretty consistent deal that late in the year. I think today is January 28th. All I know is today's Tuesday, and I have until Friday to get it done. The deer I'm after, called Pops, showed up this morning. He's been gone for like 8 days, and I thought he had been killed because he just vanished. And hold on, I have someone.
Mudge, Mo! Oh, I'm so sorry.
No, you're good.
Mudge, how much?
Look at this guy.
Mudge, Mo, come on. I know he smells interesting, but...
Anyways, that's a little suburban hunting for you. Great Dane and some other giant dog on your way to the stand. But Pops is back. He's been gone for 8 days, and I've been hunting a deer I call Clubby in the meantime. Clubby has since dropped his rack, and I've got a few days to get it done with Pops. So I'm gonna be in as much as I possibly can until the end of the year, every morning and evening. And I'm praying that it might go down. have no idea if I just smoked Pops or not, and I don't know if it was on camera. I don't know if you could see a thing, but Pops came in the total opposite direction of where I thought. And I think I shot under him. I think I shot under him. I'm almost positive I did. He's standing there, and then all of a sudden he decides to bolt. And I come to draw as he's leaving, and he gets to about 25 yards. And it's low light, he stops, he's broadside. I get settled on him, I release the shot, and I can immediately tell that it's low. The thud, it just didn't sound right. So I get down, and obviously I let things settle. I get down, I go check my arrow, and it doesn't look good. The fletchings don't look good at all. However, I do see a lot of blood. The fletchings tell a different story though. So when in doubt, back out, and that's what we did. I called Drew, I called Jay, and decide to let the deer lay overnight, back out, come back in the morning, and start to pick up the track job. And what I didn't realize at the time when I made that shot is before I go hunt, every single time I shoot my bow at a target before I go hunt to make sure my bow is on. And between me shooting my bow at my house and getting in the tree, the serving where my D-loop has been tied to had come loose, and my D-loop had actually slid up, angling my arrow down. And I shot my bow at a target that next day, and the shot was actually about 6 to 8 inches low.
That is bleeding straight down.
Pouring.
It's not coming out, it's just going straight down.
So watch what he does here. He does this.
He goes here, you can tell he stands here for a second. And then what does he do?
Holy cow.
He goes boop this way.
No way. What?
Right here. But like, look, I mean, it's like pouring the whole time. This is where, I mean, this is, you're standing on it, but he stood here. This is where I was on the phone with you guys, and I was like, coming back tomorrow. But I could see blood just going.
Oh yeah, of course. It had never stopped.
I can't really see with binoculars anywhere. So one of these houses, this is where the property line stops. So one of these houses we've got to get permission on. And I don't know if we like go up 4 or 5 houses. I mean, what are your thoughts? Go up 4 or 5 houses and see if we find blood or him, or start from house by house and go down. These lots we're hunting are pretty narrow. We start tracking, and immediately we kind of come to the end of the property line. And so the system we jumped into is, I'm gonna get in the truck, I'm gonna leapfrog and be door knocking, getting recovery permission so that Jay can stay on the trail. And so I'm just in my truck going to the next house, calling Jay saying, hey, we're good here. Jay's coming up, following the trail. Same deal, next house, next house, next house, next house. Door number 1. We probably tracked Pops 600-700 yards, and I'm leapfrogging, still getting permission. I get a call from Drew and Jay, and they just saw Pops jump out of his bed and head up towards a ridge.
Hey, I see it. I'm watching them right now.
We are hunters first, we are filmers second. So filming became secondary at that point. We're wanting to do the best job we can to finish the story and put this deer on the ground. So we're doing this door knocking. I'm getting permission to finish the story on this deer from people I've already got permission at, and also new people that I'm knocking on their door, telling the situation. And Pops beds down at the top of this hill. We were able to find where he was at. I was able to slip in and get a shot on Pops. and he takes off barreling down this hill headed straight to the river. So he goes onto a piece of property, we call, we get the proper retrieval permission. Someone actually shows up to retrieve the deer with us. We go out there and immediately pick up the trail.
It's on this side of the sewer?
Yeah, right? Pretty sure. Yeah, it's definitely that side of that. Oh Lord, please don't let him be in the freaking river. Oh Lord. Oh Lord.
Dude, Jay, he's in the river.
Oh thank God. You scared me, dude.
He's underwater.
Oh, he is underwater. God, that was close.
Dude, oh my.
Holy cow.
I didn't think it could get crazier.
Oh God. Thank you, Lord.
Oh man, thank you, Lord, for real. That is an understatement.
He slipped. He slipped just like we thought. Fell right in the river.
Oh my gosh.
No doubt.
Thank you. Good buddy.
It's freaking awesome. Little trout hole. There he goes.
This is so cold. You got my belt?
Yep.
Go. Oh! Come on, Paul!
Alright. I can't believe that worked.
I kind of always say, like, these deer have always taught us stories, like the stories you just can't make up. A lot of this story is going to just have to be told because there was so much of it that wasn't on film. And like I said, we're hunters first. But man, life lesson of never, ever, ever, ever give up. Pops. Coming down to the wire like that at the end of the season, it was definitely a unique season, to say the least. I mean, I'd taken the biggest deer of my life with Thor, but then going through several of these other stories that are often, a lot of times, untold stories. A lot of behind the scenes that you guys at home don't normally get to see. You guys mostly get to see the end result of when something finally comes together. There was 3 or 4 stories of Mr. Krabs and Browser and Clubby that just didn't come together. So for all of that to come together and tag out that closely into the season, the story of Pops was just one that I will absolutely never forget. A lot has changed for us over the years at Seek One. We were kind of thrown into this world really without the intentions of trying to make it big. We just did this because we loved it and we wanted to share some of our stories with you guys. And the main thing that has not changed for us from Seek One back in the day to Seek One today is the passion that we have for pursuing these whitetails. A lot has changed for us over the years. We've made mistakes along the ways. We've learned from those. Hopefully we've done a thing or two right, but the main thing is that we have not ever strayed from the passion for pursuing God's creation. And I hope that with us telling these stories and sharing these stories with you guys, that it has encouraged y'all to get out and do it, whether it's door knocking on a couple acres, some private that you got, a farm, 100 acres, 200 acres, or some big public that's thousands of acres. We hope that we've encouraged you guys to get out there and hunt and have some of these stories unfold for yourself. We hope that we've pushed you guys in your faith, and hopefully that you've seen a bit of God's creation along the way with your hunting experiences as well, just like it's happened for us. We're excited to bring you guys along for this 2023 season. We've got a lot of stuff to look forward to, so hopefully bring you some more journeys this year. Appreciate you guys for watching.